What is up? What is up? Welcome back to the Kick-Ass Podcast, live here on Brass Ring Media. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this Saturday morning. I truly appreciate it. We have a good amount of stuff to talk about. It was a pretty good SmackDown show, in my opinion, that we got last night. That main event between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. If y'all have listened to me before, you know how I feel about Nia Jax. I have been a fan of hers for years. I've been on the Nia Jax bandwagon. When a lot of people were across the street looking at us and making fun of us here over on the wagon, we stuck with it. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Nia Jax is the best women's wrestler of all time, or she has been. You know, uh, what's the right word? Like one of the, I don't want to say a ring general, but someone who you can count on to deliver you a good match. And man, y'all, if you take a look at what has she been back now? 2 years? About maybe definitely over a year, maybe about 2 years. The matches and the performances that she's put on in the ring, whether it's wrestling or even promo wise, like I've just really been even more impressed with her this second go around since she's been back. So shout out to Nia Jax, man, and of course Tiffany Stratton as well. But it's one of those where you began to expect that from Tiffany, right? And of course the whole feud with Charlotte was just a debacle, really. Definitely not what I think any of us were hoping for, to say the least. But Nia Jax, man, they went out there last night and put on a burner for sure. So we'll get into that a little bit more in SmackDown. We'll take a look at some AEW stuff, take a look at the road to Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing. Yeah, and we'll kind of dive right into it because you guys, if you listen to me before, you know how I am. I can ramble and ramble and ramble, but it is so good to be back here, though, on Saturday mornings, though. I appreciate you guys for either joining us live now, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you are watching through our Twitter page. What up? Shout out to everyone there. But yeah, we are typically here every Saturday mornings live a little around 10 a.m. Eastern time frame. Normally go, well, the idea was for me to go an hour, right? But again, if y'all know me, I tend to ramble a lot. So the general length of the shows has been trending like hour and a half time frame, close to 2 hours. So we'll see. I don't think I'll have that much time today, so that's why I wanted to get into stuff. And talk a little bit about AEW too, just because I still feel like it's been just so WWE heavy lately. So that's why I kind of wanted to at least divide it up a little bit. And maybe I'll pull up both, but I'll pull up the chat here in a second too. Say good morning to everyone. But I definitely want to give AEW some time. And then yeah, and get your guys' thoughts. I will be going to Saturday night's main event here in Tampa, which is pretty dope. It's turning out to be a pretty good show. I am very, very happy about that. Part of me was like, oh man, like are they gonna just like throw some bullshit on the on the card or whatever? But it seems that they are actually putting in some work for the card. So I'm very appreciative of that. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. Got to get my coffee in. But yeah, man, it has been quite the week. Quite the week. I am so happy it's Saturday, y'all. I don't know about you guys, but it was just one of those weeks where it wasn't even like a bad week. It was just, and every week is busy, right? But it's just like, man, like, especially yesterday, it was like one of those days where you felt like you were being so productive, you're getting so much shit done, but there was just more shit being piled on your plate. And it's like, damn, man. But we made it through the week, guys. That is all that matters. Pull up the chat, but good morning. I saw the boss in there. Fernando, buenos dias. Fernando, ¿cómo estás? Sai, what up? What up? Oh, Fernando, you said you got your tickets for Saturday night's main event? What? Oh, let's go, bro. That's dope. That's dope. We'll have to meet up and say hey. For sure. Send me a message on Twitter. Send me a DM on Twitter, as they say. We can meet up and say hey. Ah, my guy, Sai. Tie-dye shirt. He said, tie-dye shirt, fuck the world, I have one on too. I swear we were separated at birth. Yeah, bro. It's one of those days, man. I was feeling the vibes. I was feeling the vibes, man. You already know. My guy. My guy, Sai. But I'm debating on switching over to AEW, just finishing up with WWE really quick. We will stick with WWE since we are already on that train. just pulling up some notes here. But overall, SmackDown, let me know how you guys think about, I'm kind of all over the place, but let me know what you guys think. Oh, my connection's a little laggy. That's not fun. Let me know if you can hear my audio, okay, and if it's just my video that's kind of lagging or not. But the whole SmackDown show I thought last night was really good, but the Solo Sikoa of it all, yeah, I froze. I don't know what's going on. It's been like a weird morning for. I've had connectivity issues with my phone and my computer this week. Speaking of like a weird week, my phone I've had to turn off and turn on like at least once a day. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I just have the weirdest relationship with technology too, y'all. Like my work laptop, I'm about to be on my third work laptop because I work outside, and for whatever reason, the speaker just keeps blowing out, and I haven't dropped the laptop. I've never, I treat it handle with care, and the shit just is tanking on me. So, yeah, I'm sorry guys, but I appreciate y'all making it through there with some audio, well, not audio, but visual deficiencies. But yeah, back to the more important thing. Solo Sikoa. Let me know what you guys think about him qualifying for the Money in the Bank match, because I don't know, like that was definitely a choice. And to be fair, okay, I started off as one of those like really like Solo was gonna be the new like face of the bloodline after Roman was gone for a while and kind of take over. But then he grew on me and he won me over. He look, is he a Jacob Fatu or a Roman Reigns or anyone of that caliber? No. But he's his own dude and he does his own thing, and I can appreciate that, and he brings his own style, and I like that. And I like that he doesn't look like he has his own like distinct haircut. Yes, he wears a suit, but that glove stands out, man. Like, I don't know, he just does his own thing, so I can appreciate that. And I have grown to enjoy him more, but I just don't take him as seriously as I take a Jacob Fatu or obviously a Roman Reigns, right? So I just, man, I don't know. But then it's like, what do you do with him if he's not still intertwined with that and still somewhat of a leader? So I understand bringing Jeff Cobb in and obviously tying him up with Solo and kind of Jacob Fatu, right, until that implodes. But it's just kind of something's just not hitting me with Solo right now, man. And I don't. And again, I understand. It's kind of like the Royal Rumble, right? Like you have some participants in there where they're not really going to win, and you can't really even picture them winning, but you have to have people in the match, right? I don't really necessarily 100% agree with that, because in my opinion, you should have every participant in that match, especially the Money in the Bank match, because it's not as many participants as the Rumble. You should be able to make a case for them winning the briefcase and cashing in within the next 12 months, right? And I just don't see Solo. Okay, if he wins, I don't see taking him seriously as winning the championship. And again, I know too that you're not guaranteed to win, right? And there have been cash-ins that have failed. I get that, but it just seems like if you're gonna do this match, right, and set these stages, you wanted to have some type of meeting. So it's just, I don't know. And maybe I'm too harsh on the Solo inclusion, but I don't know, man. It just kind of hit me the wrong way. Fernando, you said the Jeff Cobb debut was underwhelming for me last night. Yeah, man. I think his debut, what was that? Backlash was it was fine. Like it was kind of what you expected, right? It was just like a typical debut, nothing over the top. It was pretty suitable in my opinion. Like it's what you would kind of expect. But the rollout last night, it just kind of like just seeing him like just backstage with Solo, like I don't know, it just, again, he didn't really stand out. And I think he's just gonna be one of those, you just got to give him a little bit more time. Whereas a Jacob Fatu, like even if you were just vaguely aware of him, you knew like this dude, the personality in this dude, like he's not going to be able to just stand in the background. Even just saying "I love you" Solo, like is what got people to start liking him. You know what I mean? Like it's wild. Like in the on the WWE side, right? If you were completely new to him, um, so it's just with Jeff Cobb, it's gonna be one of those where his in like the overall package has to grow on. I think the WWE audience. The powerhouse type of a style that he brings in the ring. I really look. People may think this is crazy, but that dude reminds me of Rhino, man. Like, and I mean that in a good way. Like, I was always a fan of Rhino. At that spear, like, well, the gore, I just thought it was the coolest shit. And the gore that he gave Chris Jericho through the Titantron way back when, that I think that was actually what prompted them to get the SmackDown Fist set, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it wasn't the fist, but I'm pretty certain that was what got them to get rid of that set. It was almost like a weird like raid type thing. It was like an oval, and then it had rays like a sort of like a half oval around the screen. And Rhino gored the fuck out of Chris Jericho, man. Like I can still see that shit. I might want to go back and watch that episode. I can still see it though. He just like Jericho was probably talking shit, and I'm pretty certain Jericho had like one of those like flashy button ups on. Maybe not, maybe not. I don't entirely remember his attire, but entirely attire. That's pretty funny. But man, when Rhino gored Jericho, man, like you could see the black like curtain just like it just like engulf around him. Oh, it was just beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, those are the good old days, man. I fucking miss that fist. Say a couple things there, but keep it PG. But yeah, man, it was. Oh, those are the days, though. Sai said, oop, go to that one in a second. I don't think they've got as much out of Solo Sikoa as they expected, and JKFI 2 is everything that Solo was intended to be. 100%, dude. I cannot agree with you more there. And again, like I don't even view Solo as a fail. And like I said at the beginning, I think he has done a great job growing into the role. And to be fair, there was a lot of pressure put on him, right? Like he essentially was the next guy, like the stand-in for Roman Reigns, right? Like when Roman was out, Solo was quote unquote the number one guy, right? So the head of the table, right? So imagine being not thrusted because they knew it was coming, but put in that position when 2 years prior, not even dude was still on NXT, and how long did he even have on the NXT brand as a whole? So I just think that as a whole, Solo has grown tremendously, but I just don't think he's at that main event level. And I don't even mean that he'll never get there. Just right now, right now he's just again one of those characters where it'll maybe like a Jeff Cobb, it'll just take a little bit more time. Whereas as Jacob had too, that dude fucking smacks you in the face, with his abilities. So it's just crazy. It's a good problem for WWE to have. It kind of sucks for Solo, but shit, if I was Solo Sikoa in his position, I'd still be happy. You know what I mean? I'd probably be a little jealous, but healthy jealousy. But I'd still be happy and proud of where I've accomplished and proud of where I've kind of ascended to so far. And yeah, because I think too, like it could have been so easy for him to just really slide into, in line with the Usos and maybe take Jimmy's side when the Usos ended up breaking up and just kind of like going in that portion of the bloodline, right? But he is doing his own thing in that regard. So I dig that. Because if you think about it, like you see Jimmy doing his own thing on SmackDown and you see Solo doing their own thing on SmackDown. And sometimes they'll like briefly like cross paths, but you don't even like correlate Solo with Jimmy and vice versa. Like maybe you do, but it's not like, oh, there comes Jimmy's little brother, like the Usos' little brother. Like, no, like Solo's his own dude, So I don't know. I kind of dig it. I dig it, but I don't. I dig his progress, I guess is what I should say, but I don't think that he should be in the Money in the Bank match right now. And that was probably much longer than I anticipated on spinning on that, but I appreciate you guys. What up, chat? What up, Mackenzie? You said I'm excited for Julia being the new member of the SmackDown roster in the women's division. Yeah, dude, I could not agree with you more there either. And that kind of brings me to what I wanted to ask you guys as well. So, like I said, I'll be going to Saturday night's main event here in Tampa, but debating in, budgeting on going to either NXT Battleground, which is the next night on Sunday, or Monday Night Raw, obviously on Monday. So what would you guys do if you were me and you already had tickets to Saturday night's main event for Tampa, and you could potentially get another let's say set, but another ticket? Would you choose NXT Battleground or would you choose Monday Night Raw? I was leaning more towards NXT Battleground because obviously it's a pay-per-view PLE for them, so it's going to be a big show, a bigger show. It's not just like a regular weekly show. It's gonna be a good card already. I know they have what is it, Stephanie Vaquer obviously on there, and I need to pull up the updated card. That's what I was in the process of doing. But I'm pretty certain she'll be facing off against Jordan Grace. I'm a little behind, honestly, to be completely transparent. A little peek behind the curtains. Last night I was up late catching up on wrestling because, like I said, it's been quite the busy week. But yeah, okay, so I didn't see NXT this week. Cool. So it is Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. We have a TNA World Championship match, Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams. Oh, that might answer my question right there. Our NXT Championship match is Obafemi versus Miles Bourne, which I love. I really like what they've been doing with him. I like that they let him go out there and really show who he is, and really be relatable. Obviously, like the majority of people, the percentage, right? Like I don't want that to sound harsh, but the percentage of people are not deaf, right? But I think it's so cool what they're doing with him and letting him go out there and embrace it and not. If this was WWE 10 years ago, especially 15 years ago, they would be making a mockery of him, and I hate to say that, but they would be exploiting that in all the wrong ways. And I love the fact that he is explaining it and embracing it, and it's nothing that people are like really like making fun of, and like the fans aren't making fun of it or anything like that. And I hope it stays that way, like there's, in my opinion, there's a place for, you can make fun of like little things, right? Like kind of like nitpick and like poke fun at. But when it comes to shit like that, like me personally, I don't want to say like I don't have tolerance for that, but like I don't get down with that because you are blessed and lucky to be born. I don't want to say normal either, but with all of your senses, all of your limbs, everything intact. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people out there who are born with various disabilities, right? And various things that your average person does not have to deal with. So when it comes to stuff like that, like you got the wrong one. If you're looking to like kind of like make fun of or like kind of like poke fun or make fun of someone for that, like whether it's like whether even he says like okay, like, and if they get into a storyline, like a dastardly heel, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, turn the TV off type shit, but it's just gonna be like really like it's kind of like low hanging fruit is the best way to kind of sum it up for me. It's like, come on, bro, like do better, do better and be better. And it to kind of not, it's a weird comparison, but it makes me think of like the Jeff Hardy thing when he was last in WWE, when he was going through like his alcohol issues and had just recently gone through like, I think it was recent, but Sheamus was making fun of like his drinking and driving, like the whole pee thing and everything. And it's like eye rolling. It's like really like y'all are better than this. And even if Jeff agreed to it, like I think he even made like or did an interview afterwards saying like, yeah, he agreed to it, but it wasn't his like favorite thing, right? And if you're a wrestler, like you're going to play ball and you're going to be a good sport, right? But it's just you hope the people in power don't create that situation. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. But I think there's a time and a place for everything, like I said, and I'm glad that they are taking him seriously, you know, and I like the positioning that they're putting him in. Do I think he's going to beat Obafemi? No, I do not. But I don't think that every challenger needs to, like, you have to go into thinking like, oh yeah, he's 100% gonna, like, it's a new champion type thing. Like, no, like, you should have matches where it's 50-50 or 60-40, or you're like, oh, this dude's gonna crush. Like, you can go in there thinking like Obafemi is gonna crush Miles Bourne, right? And it can end up being a really fun and competitive match. So that's, I don't know, just kind of another reason why I enjoy NXT too, and I really like what they've been doing. I like the presentation for Oba as a whole. I think they got something special with Femi, man. Like, it's just a matter of time for him to be caught up to the main roster. And I think at this point, you might as well keep him down at NXT for the remaining portion of this year and maybe have like a fun debut at the Rumble type shit, you know? So we'll see. But the other match that we have on the Battleground card is Tony D'Angelo versus Stax Lorenzo. And bro, like, that's gonna be a fun match too, with Stax turning on D'Angelo. So I think I may have just answered my question, but I still want y'all's opinion. Because the reason I was tempted to go to Raw instead of Battleground was because, selfishly, I want to see Rhea Ripley, right? And CM Punk. Punk was the main, Punk and Rhea. 1A, 1A, 1A. I wanted to see them both. So once I realized that Punk was going to be on Saturday Night's main event and they were advertising Cena, because that was the main reason I got tickets for Saturday Night's main event, right? Fernando, I'm sure you too. Is Cena, right? So look, I'll sit here and talk shit about Cena all day, but I'd be crazy not to see him at least one last time on his farewell tour, right? So count me in as biting on the Cena hype, but you will not fucking see me buying one of those dumbass shirts with a door on the back. I don't care if that is the last shirt they make for him ever. I guess I just will not have one. And I will just not have a John Cena farewell piece of memorabilia, because that door is just so fucking annoying. And they keep adding shit to the door, and I think they're doing it like to spite me. I am taking it personally because I just think it is the most atrocious thing. Like, I don't even think a kid would walk around with that door. Like, I don't say the name, but the part-time place that I work at that sells like apparel and shit, like, they don't even put doors and dumb shit on their kids' shirts. Like, last night I was there and I was like, oh, this is a really cool shirt. I might buy one. It was a fucking kid shirt. So I don't know what WWE's doing, bro. But yeah, I got way sidetracked. But good morning, guys. Good morning, and more people are piling in. Maddie, what up? What up, bro? What up? What up, my friend? I thought about you the other day, dude. Where you been? Where have you been? Hope you're good. Hope you're doing all right out there, my friend. Is it what time is it for you, Maddie? Is it 4:20 over there? Is it about 4:20? Oh, crack myself up. Size a nice catch on the first tangent. No getting this channel thrown off of YouTube. Tangents. Mackenzie, you said WWE needs to build up Julia as a dominant force until Asuka comes back. Have a storyline program between these two best women's in wrestling. A future yo, Mackenzie coming in with the fire. If I had a little bomb sound bit, I would unleash it. Honestly, I hadn't put much thought into what I want to see Julia do on the main roster. But yo, that is such a good idea. Such a good idea. If you guys remember when Shayna Baszler first came onto the main roster, that just dominant performance she had in the Elimination Chamber, have Julia do something like that, man, and not fucking bite anyone's neck and have them bleeding. But if you know, you know. Poor Shayna. But have Julia just be like Mackenzie said, just a dominant force, and just, I mean, shit. Start with like some of the lower end in the women's division. Maybe have a couple squash matches, or not like less than a minute, but dominant matches, and then just build. Have them be a little bit longer, and as she kind of works her way through the card. And then, like Mackenzie said, have Asuka come back. Yo, man, that would be fire. That's gonna be such a good match. Yeah, Maddie. He says R.I.P. Sabu, wrestle in peace. RVD did a great pod. He did. It's on, I believe it's on his channel, on his YouTube channel. It might be here on Brasserie, but definitely check that out because he did it with Taz as well. I just don't remember the exact channel I saw it on. I should know. But yeah, it was very well done. I actually think it was with Dominic. Let me see, because I gotta give my people credit where credit is due. And I really liked his. I'm pretty sure because I remember Dominic saying something about it too. They were addressing like GCW, whether or not they, should be responsible or have some type of, and not involvement, but some type of responsibility, just for the unfortunate aftermath of Sabu passing. But I don't know, and I liked because Zach had his own opinion too. And I liked that people on this channel can have varying opinions, in different viewpoints. And it's a very tough and tricky situation and very sensitive, and for me, like my 2 cents on it, I first of all, it's just sad. I spoke about it last week on my channel, Kick Ash Podcast, with he had when we had just learned of him passing. But look, man, I can kind of see both sides. Like, and I know I'll take me for instance. Like, I'm sure if I was a wrestler and I wanted to go and wrestle a match and I was that determined, you would have to like prevent me from going out there, right? Like actually prevent me from going out there if I believed in myself that I could do it, right? Like of course, like I wouldn't be like taking over the show or anything like that, but if I was like in someone of Sabu's stature, right, in name value, look, if I was going out there and I was like, no, I can do it, I know I can wrestle, like I'll be fine, blah blah blah, and I'm telling this to the company holding the event, I would probably make a good case for myself and probably be very believable, right? But I can also see on the flip side with the company, if you are going to be responsible for talent, you got to be responsible for talent as well. So I don't know. It's a very sticky situation. I'm not going to act like I know the inner makings on how to run a wrestling company, or on the other hand, how to run or how to like be a wrestler, what I would do if I was in that situation, right? So sorry, my dogs are back barking in the background. I don't know if you can hear them, but yeah, so like I don't want to sit there and place blame directly until we have more information. If we get more information. Long story short of it, it's just a really shitty situation, and it's a really sad thing, that his last match is now met with so much controversy. I'm sure he wouldn't want that, right? But I'm happy people like RVD and Taz are speaking up and voicing their opinions. And I'm also glad people like, like Zach and other wrestling podcasts out there are voicing their opinions too, because I think especially when we're on the outside of the business, right? We as fans have a certain viewpoint, a different viewpoint, because we care differently for these wrestlers, right? Like we care, like obviously we don't know them, right, but we have a different type of care, and it's weird trying to explain it because wrestlers, right, like they know each other, they're close friends, like they trust each other with their bodies, right? So they obviously love and respect each other, but they also know what they're doing, right? They're also professionals. They also know what limits to push, right? Like some crazy spots that we see in the ring. It's like, yo, like why did they try that? And they know what they're doing, type shit, right? So it's one of those where I think us as fans, like we just get so caught up in like defending the well-being of that wrestler that we may not be fully aware of everything and all of the happenings that go into that. So I definitely see both sides. So until we get more information, or if we ever do, I'm gonna be kind of in the middle on this one, but I can definitely make probably more points for each side. So I get it. But I was pulling up the feed here really quick because I think it was on RVD's channel. Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, let me pull my screen back over. What up, Universal? What up? What up? Oh, speaking of Dominic, what up, Dominic? What up? What up, man? Good morning. Appreciate you popping in. Maria, I don't know if I hope I said good morning to you earlier, Maria. Good morning, girl. Good morning, though. And the boss, I know I said good morning to you. Just making sure I'm keeping up with everybody. 10:29 p.m. It's 4:20 everywhere, right? Yes, sir. I appreciate you popping in, man. I appreciate you popping in. What up, Sean? What up? What up? No, man, you were good. Better late than never, right? I appreciate you popping in, though, for sure. Oh yeah. So Zach, I don't know who made it, but I think it was Zach. They made obviously new overlays because of the rebranding and the conjoining of One True Sport and Brass Ring Media and everything like that. So yeah, right? They did a pretty good job. I can't take credit for it. I wish I could. I really I wish I could. I just don't know. I don't know how to do this shit. I'm not like I said earlier, I'm not savvy. I really want to learn though. Maria, you said, I have heard GCW did some shady stuff to get Sabu to perform. Now, okay, to be fair, I did hear something about, and I know Joey Janela had did a podcast maybe like the day before Sabu passed. Like, I'm not sure if his podcast or the interview that he did, because obviously I didn't listen to it. Wasn't even aware of it until all this, got to be a little bit more amplified. But, he had mentioned that they gave him like kratom or something, and I honestly I'd seen the word kratom, but I don't even really know what it is. See if I can look it up. If I get some viruses, I'm gonna blame y'all. But yeah, they gave him like kratom or something to get through the match. It is a tropical evergreen tree of the Rubiaceae, I don't even know how to say that shit. Family native to Southeast Asia. It is indigenous to Cambodia, Thailand. It's a herbal medicine. Okay, but like, what is it? Is it like a pain reliever type shit? Common side effects include. Oh, that's how. Oh, if you're a guy, you might want to read the side effects for this kratom shit. A little bit of dysfunction there. Yeah, I don't use of the leaves. I don't know. Like, I guess say there's no legitimate medical use for kratom. Capsules, pills, kratom is really smoked. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look into that more. But like, I don't recreational use kratom. Okay, at low doses, kratom produces euphoric effects comparable to those of coca. At higher doses, kratom produces opioid-like effects. The onset of shit. Okay, so according to the U.S. DEA in a 2020 survey, because we had nothing else to do in 2020, we do surveys. Kratom is used to alleviate pain, anxiety, depression, or opioid withdrawal. Holy shit. Wow, I'm actually gonna read more into this because this is fucking crazy. So yeah, Maria, you got me going down another rabbit hole. Thank you, appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. That's wild. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, James, what up? What up, James? You're so nice. I appreciate that. Oh, look at your little baby. Look at that cute little doggy. You're so nice, James. But you said kratom acts on the same brain receptors as opioids. Yeah, it's a pain reliever. Yeah, okay. So I could have just asked you. Yeah, that's wild. I'm definitely gonna read more into that because, like I said, I'd seen the name, like the word, like wherever, but knew really nothing about it. Sean, you said too many drugs in the world today. Some help, but it's such a money business now, and that's sad, dude. Yeah, me and this chick yesterday at this shop that I was at, we were talking about like at least in the U.S. how money hungry and like pharmaceutical companies are, and how like I'm not gonna get political, but like it's a money grab, and like certain things will never be cured, and it's just like, ugh, dude, like y'all think I can rant? Like, don't even get me started on that shit. But yeah, so finishing up with SmackDown because, like I said, here I go. Spoke about Solo. Getting back to my notes here. I just the Money in the Bank match. So, and I will be doing a watch along if everything checks out. Which I got the day off of work, so I don't see why or if anything should be coming up. But I will be doing a watch along on the Kickash Podcast channel here on YouTube. So if you would like to participate in the watch along with me, you have a place to go and hang out and chill and just talk shit with us. So I'll definitely put more information out there and create the stream for that once we get a little bit closer. But I realized the day and I submitted the day off request at the very last minute, and I was shocked that it got approved. So shout out to my part time for being the real ones there with that. Yeah, so I'm excited for the money, and that's why I was really hopeful that I was going to get off because I think it's going to be so good. I think this is going to be a really good and a really important Money in the Bank pay per view or PLE. I just think that whoever wins for both men's and women's, I feel like they're going to take the card and then maybe the quote main event scene, right? That championship level to in a different direction. Like I really hope I haven't put too much thought into it, but just kind of like quick thoughts. Someone like a Braun Breaker, just someone who is on the up and coming, who's new, who's fresh, but who's still believable too. You can make a case for like a CM Punk as well, my guy, which is the complete opposite of Braun Breaker, right? New, up and coming. But you can make a case for him, right? Can you imagine he would be the first ever? I'm pretty certain 3-time Money in the Bank winner, and for me, I just think it would be so fun to have Punk go out there and just talk so much shit and just fuck around with people with the briefcase, right? Like especially with Cena. Especially with Cena. Like, can you imagine if Cena's still the champ coming out of Money in the Bank PLE and Punk wins the briefcase, which Punk may even be above the batch at this point. I'm just kind of like having fun spitballing here. But just having Punk going around and fucking with Cena about cashing in and like teasing and cash in and just like messing with Cena, and that could be another way to set up a match with them potentially at SummerSlam, wherever. Um, my hope, though, honestly, if I'm being more realistic, is we end up getting CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank. I feel like, and like I said, once we got the announcement of Cena's, like essentially like farewell tour, to me, it was just a matter of him going through and kind of going through like his greatest hits in a way, like going through and kind of like having like a closing chapter to some of his greatest feuds, right? Like we saw it with Randy. I'm hoping we see it at Punk. And again, what better way to cap off their feud? And it'd be fun to kind of sit down and take like a deep dive look at the beginning, like the whole longevity of their feud against each other. And like maybe do like a parallel of well, that would take forever of their WWE runs. But what better way to have the final Cena versus Punk match than at Money in the Bank, where there was infamous one, really. So I think that would be really cool. So if I had to make like an early prediction, that would be and I guess I'm certain it would be for the championship. So I don't know how we would get Punk into the championship match unless it's just kind of something similar to what Randy did. But I think it'd be really almost foolish if you don't pull the trigger on that. And again, like I know they're on different shows, but look, you can make it happen. You can make it happen. But that's just kind of my quick thoughts on that. But I am very much looking forward to Money in the Bank as a whole. And I'd love to watch it with you guys, so feel free to join me if you like. Yeah, James, you said kratom is legal in some states, but not in all. I saw that. Yeah. That's why I want to read more into it because I'm just very intrigued now. Huh. You saying thank you? That's my best friend James Western. I named my channel after him. He was 16. He went to the big fire hydrant in the sky. Oh, in 2018. How sad. Oh, but I love what you did there. I love the tribute. So shout out to James Western, man. Shout out to James Western. Long live. Very cute picture. Right on, Sean. You said you should be able to watch this. That'd be dope, dude. That would be dope. James said he had a great life for a doggy. I used to take him everywhere with me. And yeah, thank you to Sean. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I have my dog sleeping right now. Yeah, I try to take my dogs with me everywhere I can. They're legit my best friends, dude. Like they have been with me and like by my side through some of the shittiest times in my life, dude. So I totally get it. Yeah, like my dog. Actually, personally, I have two. I have a Shepherd mix. Her name is Callie. She just had a birthday this month on May the 3rd, right before May 4th. She's a rescue dog, so not 100% certain on her age, but we believe she's around she'd be 8 now. I think. Yeah, she would be 8. And then Frida Kahlo, my girl Frida, the OG, she's gonna be 10 this year. And that is very bittersweet. She has grown like her hair on her face, and she's just grown so much gray hair. It's cute, but it's like it's kind of sad too. So yeah, I totally get it, dude. They're my best friends, so I'm with you there. But one quick thing on SmackDown, I want your guys' thoughts on Aleister Black. How do you think his re-debut has been going? Look, I've seen kind of some angst, I think, with the re-debut of Aleister Black and the fact that he's not a big deal, right? He's not positioned at the top of the card, but they're so stacked in WWE. It's like you can make the same like complaint for Andrade, for Rusev, for Penta, for Phoenix. Like you could, like maybe not Penta and Phoenix as much, but like you can make a case for not like just bolstering those guys to the top, immediately when they come back. And I don't think that would have been a good idea. I think everyone has been kind of slotted in where they need to be. And I think it's one of those situations where you don't want to rush it, and there's no need to rush it. Would I like to see Aleister come back with a specific feud right off the bat? Yeah, that would have been great, And I think he's one of those characters where he needs legit direction for his promos and for all of his energy to be focused on. And if not, then he's just kind of a little all over the place, and that's not his fault. It's just that's just how his character is. He needs a solid direction. You can make a case for him being like going out there and just like being a destructive force, right? But I mean, like that's just not really him. So I'm hopeful that it's just like I'm like a easing back into the product type thing and into the card. So that's kind of where I'm at with Aleister. Um, I just it looks like he's going to be kind of going back and forth with Carmelo for a bit. So I kind of dig that. Carmelo's great in the ring, obviously. So that'll be maybe a fun little quick series. But I think it's just a matter of time. And I think you could also. I was debating on. Can you imagine a match between Jacob Fatu and Aleister Black? I just feel like those styles it'd be so fascinating to watch have a match. And if they've wrestled in the past, let me know. But man, I think that would just be something entertaining and so good too. But we are going to be jumping over to AEW here in one moment. I just wanted to get the official update here. Oh, and shout out to Jim Ross too. He announces that he is battling colon cancer. That poor guy, man. Like he just can't catch a break. So thoughts and prayers to Jim Ross for certain. It's sad, man. Like obviously one of the greats. A lot of people call him the GOAT, so it's sad that he can't just chill and can't just enjoy life, and enjoy the fruits of his labor. So I hope everything goes smoothly for him, and I hope they're able to get that taken care of and get it, get hopefully parts of it removed before it spreads or gets any worse. So thoughts to him for sure. For sure. But I do want to, like I said, move on to AEW here. 1 second. I'm just moving some tabs over. But wrapping up on Saturday night's main event and then the updated card for Money in the Bank, which we just have 2 entrants announced. Like I said, obviously one is solo. But for Saturday night's main event, we have Jey Uso defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Logan Paul, which I think will be a very, very interesting match. I'm really intrigued to see how that match itself plays out. WWE Champion, like we discussed, John Cena will be facing off against R-Truth in a non-title match. This, of course, stemming from John Cena giving an attitude adjustment to R-Truth at the Backlash press conference. And R-Truth did a nice sit-down with Wade Barrett. I was kind of hoping they weren't going to go straight to the match. I was kind of hoping they would maybe have R-Truth aligned with Cena and be like, look, man, you're right. Like, I should have gotten involved in your business and not be R-Truth, be Ron Killings, and really just show who his not like real self, but like a serious version of himself, right? So I just thought they had potential there. And I get it's probably like a time constraint thing with Cena. And look, the fact that we're even getting a John Cena and R-Truth match, I think is very special. And I think says a lot for how they value R-Truth. And it's kind of like I would imagine like a thank you for putting up and doing so much bullshit with Vince back in the day and doing a lot of the shit that most people would maybe look down on or maybe be upset with or be like, oh, they're making a mockery of me. No, like this dude has embraced his role and really created a need for himself and really created job security. Like, how long has he been in WWE now? For what, fucking 20 years? Like, you it's easy to talk about seniors, seniors. John Cena's tenure and Randy Orton's tenure, and you start talking about people like Sheamus and Kofi Kingston and all those guys. But you really don't think about R-Truth. And man, he's been out there just as long, if not longer, than a lot of those guys. So I'm very happy that we're getting this match. I hope they don't do some bullshit like Cena just goes out there and destroys him. I'm not expecting a full, 20-plus minute match between the two of them, but I hope they let R-Truth go out there and shine. I hope they actually let him take it seriously. And I'm really looking forward to what they do on the Go Home show on Raw or on SmackDown to see how they position him again, because I think it was almost like a nice little balance. He was a little bit more serious in his sit down with Wade Barrett, but he also was kind of like, oh, it's my childhood hero type shit too. So I hope I hope he snaps out of it. I hope he snaps out of it, but I don't want to lose who R-Truth is, like that fun guy. If he's not going to be do a complete 180, I guess is kind of my point with that one. But should be a very fun. I guess fun is their word, but I don't just one of those matches where you didn't really expect to happen, but you're not putting so much you're not taking it too seriously, oh my god, Cena needs to go out there and have a 5-star match and he it's not a match even a Randy Orton Cena match. It's a different type of style. So that's why I'm looking forward to it, to see how it ends up playing out and looking. Because if they really want to keep Cena as this bad guy, they did show some glimmers of Cena potentially showing emotion after his match at Backlash. So they could go one of two ways with this, really. They can use R-Truth to kind of give Cena a little bit more humanity back and have him that niceness, and have him realize wow, he really is kind of being a dick, and turning his back on people who legit do love him. Or they can have him really hammer into this bad guy Cena and beat the fuck out of R-Truth and really just make an example out of R-Truth. And then go from there. But and I think that's why it's a little bit intriguing for me as well on a different level to see how they handle this match as a whole. So we'll see. And I think it's proper being a non-title match, no offense. It just adds to the believability too. So I like it. We have the tag team match of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn. I, again, obviously can't wait to see Punk, right? But I'm really curious if Sami is going to end up turning on Punk. That is kind of what I'm going to be focusing on it and kind of keeping an eye out during the match to see, because I just something's going to come out of this match. I have a feeling. And then, of course, we get Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a steel cage match, which I think is very fun. I think I projected maybe like a Hell in a Cell match or a Falls Count Anywhere coming out of, what was it, WrestleMania? Was it WrestleMania? Or was it Backlash? It was Backlash. I guess both, technically. But going with the steel cage match is fine. It makes sense, and I'm kind of thrilled to be able to see it live. To be honest, though, like cage matches live in attendance are not that great because it's very hard to see. Like I remember when I went to the Blood and Guts match for AEW, 3 years ago at this point, couldn't see shit. Could not see shit. So I was like, man, I should just fucking stay at home and watch this on TV. But it's fun to be there for the environment though. But man, and at least like with the Blood and Guts match, it was kind of a little bit more like of a bummer that you couldn't see the majority of it because that was half of the show. So, but this one is obviously going to be different because that's not the entirety of the show. But the Saturday night's main event card is looking very good, so I'm pretty stoked for that. Again, just a quick updated version of the Money in the Bank card. Our first entrant for the women's side is Alexa Bliss, which makes sense to me. And like we discussed, Solo Sikoa is the first entrant for the men's side. We have 5 to be determined, so TBD on that. But moving on to AEW, and I'm going to take a little bit of coffee and then pull up the chat to see what you guys have been chit-chatting about. All right, cool. Oh no, my thing is spinning. Yeah, man, I'm not going to be able to go too long today because I'm going to have to restart this computer and see what the hell is going on with it. I've been debating on getting a new computer anyway. I have a Mac, but we'll see. Money, right? And this GTA, man, I was thinking about like what was that other big purchase? I need to get a PS5 eventually, and I've been holding off on getting one until Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, and those fuckers keep playing with me, man. I'm just so over this shit. Again, real quick, guys, I'm sorry, but I am so over waiting for this fucking game, and I'm sorry about all the F words today. Like I know this is my channel. I need to be more mindful. But yo, like I am so tired of waiting for this game. Like it has been half my life waiting for this damn game. And I don't know if I have a I don't know your guys' musical taste. I don't want to assume, but I'm going to make a small assumption that there's probably not too many Rihanna fans in the chat here, but if you if you are a Rihanna fan, or if you've even just heard of like the delay that her album has taken, and it's kind of a joke now because I just love Rihanna's voice. I think just the rawness and the pureness of her voice is just, and just like the effortlessness that she has is just amazing, right? And I, for the longest time, was just like craving a new album for her. And then she got into the whole Fenty beauty care line, which props to her. I'm so happy. She's a billionaire, right? She never has to actually work a day in her life again. So, no hate. So happy for her. But where's that album, girl? Like, damn. Like, I want the. Try to say that for it again. Like, drop the album. It's so frustrating, And then, so now we have that, and then Grand Theft Auto 6. And I was joking around the other day. I was like, look, with a friend of mine who is kind of very similar, in regards to like wanting that Rihanna album. I was just at the point. I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care about the Rihanna album anymore. I don't even care about Grand Theft Auto anymore. They just keep delaying this shit. At least with Rihanna, she's gone out there and been like, look, I'm Gucci. Like, I'm not pressed to make an album. Cool. So now it's just me, and that's fine. So that's why I've kind of like put that one on the back burner. It's not even on the burner anymore. But Grand Theft Auto, they keep effing around with us, man. Like, oh, I'm like last year they're like, oh, it's gonna be, I forget the time frame, but I think they said like spring 2025. But it was supposed to be this year. I'm like, let's go, bet, like super pumped. I need to get a new system because I've had the PlayStation 4 since the beginning of time. But I've been holding out because I kind of assume like when Grand Theft Auto comes out that they're going to have probably some type of bundle with like a PlayStation 5. So I was going to just bite the bullet on that. But they keep effing delaying this shit, man. And now I told my friend Felix, and I was like, man, fuck it. Like, I'm done. I'm over waiting. I don't even care how cool the trailers that they dropped for it. Like, cool. Like, great. Let me play it. Let me play it. It's like, you keep saying, oh, it's going to be a great game. Like, look at these graphics. Look at the story. The first female character, blah, blah, blah. Like, all this stuff. Like, right on. When can I play it? I'm waiting. I feel like I'll retire at this point and be able to reuse my retirement time to play GTA 6 at this point. So it's just a little another side rant. I forget why I thought about that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Grand Theft Auto 6. I completely forget why I brought that shit up. Oh gosh. But AEW, guys, talking of early WWE, what did you guys think of Zach Allen? Please tell me what you guys thought of Zach Allen, because again, if you have listened to Bruce Pritchard's podcast back in the day, that was the first place I heard it at. They backing up, when they first heard of Zach Allen, way back when, what was it, like 2003, 2002, 2003? There's apparently two one-legged independent wrestlers out there in the world, and Johnny Laurinaitis was tasked on going out there and hiring Zach Allen, the one-legged wrestler, and he hired the wrong one-legged wrestler, which was not Zach Allen. They ended up having to pay the dude because they signed him to a contract and then realized that it was not Zach Allen, and then ended up obviously bringing Gowen in. He had that memorable run with Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon. Yo, I will never get the visual of Brock Lesnar holding Zach's small little body on his shoulders. Brock, especially in this time frame, was just jacked, bro. Like, he was like this. Dude couldn't even like move without moving his whole body. He had Gowen up on his shoulders, did the F5, and when I tell you, Gowen's leg swung and curled over the ring post. Yo, I could not believe it. And I think that was when his mother was sitting right there at ringside too. Yo, and I'm pretty, actually, now the more I'm talking and thinking about it, the more this segment is coming back to me. I'm pretty certain this was the one too where Brock just like bloodied Gowen, like he was just like a bloody mess, and his mom was right there. Like, I'm pretty certain that she was right there in like the corner of the barricade. And then when Lesnar finally left, she like hopped over it. Yo, like, unreal. And then the shit, because Vince McMahon's a piece of shit, and he had fun with Zach Allen as well. But yo, like, and then I think Gowen ended up like going back on the Indies after that. I think there was like some reports that he was kind of like full of himself or like a little big-headed. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain, but I think that was like the general consensus backstage. Like, dude, like, relax. But because he kind of took the whole fact of being brought in and being immediately paired with like Vince and Lesnar, that kind of went to his head, which he was like in his early 20s too. So I can get that, But yo, like, and then fast forwarding 20 years from, yeah, it'd be like 20 years, 22-ish years, depending on the exact year. That's crazy. Time flies. But seeing him now and fucking Ricochet, yo, fucking Ricochet, yo. Like, again, I will stand on the mountain of being wrong about Ricochet going into AEW. Like, they completely did a 180 with this dude after his debut into AEW, and then this new direction of his. I effing love it, dude. So Ricochet walking around with the prosthetic leg, just like chilling on his shoulder, tremendous. Tremendous. I loved it. I don't know if that says about me. I don't know how that makes me as a human being. So that's fine. You can judge me on that. But I loved it. I loved Ricochet just fucking around with Gowen, man. It was just, I said earlier, right now I feel like a hypocrite about people with disabilities. I completely forgot about the whole Zach Gowen of it all. But this is different. This is different because Zach Gowen is a wrestler, damn it. And I guess Miles Bourne is too. So now I really feel like a hypocrite. Fuck. It's different though. It's different because whatever, you guys get it. Because they're not making fun of Gowan, like that's a part of the shtick, right? Whereas, I don't know, you guys get it, man. I hope y'all get it. But now I do kind of feel like a hypocrite, but whatever. It is what it is. I think the main difference is like people aren't making fun of Gowan, right? Like it's just it is what it is. And like they're using that in the storyline. Whereas like if you're deaf, like I guess it's whatever. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, pulling up the chat here. Yeah, Maddie. James just said, "Oh, it's okay. I'm looking forward to GTA 6 too. I'm really hoping it'll be on Switch too. Otherwise, I'll probably get a PS5." Oh, you just got oh, sick, dude. Yeah, I've been wanting to get a Switch too, man. I just want to get all the systems. I've just really been like kind of feeding to get back into gaming. Oh yeah, welcome back, Universal. You said I was away for a bit. I heard your discussion about Sabu, aka Terry Bronk. Yeah, bro. R.I.P. Man, Maddie said I'm keen for GTA 6. Well, maybe we'll have to do like a GTA stream if it ever comes out and if we're all still alive for it and can hold a controller. Maddie, you're funny, bro. You said, has there ever been a one-armed wrestler? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maddie, you're funny, bro. You said, what's the difference between the bird flu and the swine flu? One requires treatment and the other an ointment. Bro, you're fucking hilarious, dude. And you said, what's a cat's favorite instrument? Percussion. You're great, bro. You're fucking great. Oh god, that's so funny. And James, yeah, I was waiting for it. A one-legged guy in an ass-kicking contest. I was waiting for it. But yeah, so back to AEW though, and look, we are getting a. That was the other thing I wanted to pull up. A more solid direction, in my opinion, obviously to Double or Nothing, but then also to what could potentially be the lay of the land for All In as well. Pulling up the card really quick. And let me know what you guys think. A lot of people are torn between Osprey and Hangman and who they think should win, just who they want to win. Because that is two different things, right? Like who you want to win personally and who you think is gonna win. I am sticking on the train there, the bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, that I've been on since this whole Moxley debauchery has happened. Way back when in October. I am hoping for a Hangman Adam Page win. I think that storyline wise, it makes the most sense for multiple reasons. Obviously, you have the tie-in with Texas and Hangman and Cowboy and all that cliche stuff, but taking it back to the core of why Moxley got the Death Riders started to change AEW and to get it back to what it originally was. And that's what Hangman is. Hangman is that core AEW guy. I think, again, I've said it before, we can give AEW a lot of shit for the lack of substantial stories, long-term stories, or just shit that makes sense, right? And you could do the same for WWE. So it's not like AEW is trash, WWE is gold. No. Like we can sit there and literally do an entire show comparing the two and comparing the both of their weaknesses, right? So it's not coming out of that area. It's you with AEW, like the one thing that they have done great rather is the Hangman story. And again, we can go back and nitpick the whole Swerve thing, the whole burning of the house, the whole Swerve going into Hangman's house type thing. 100%. I still don't think like the needles and all, like pretty much the stuff that he did with Swerve, right? It's still built into his story and it built into the Hangman character and it built into his complexity and his confliction, with finding himself and who he is and the struggles that he has faced. I think if I had to really put money on it, I would say that Hangman is probably the best developed all around character that AEW has created from start to where they are right now. Even better than MJF. Like, I feel like Hangman has really transformed and grown much more than MJF has. I think that MJF still plays off of the same kind of like, oh, the fans are shit, you're fat, like, oh, I did this with your girl, like your mom does this. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? I will say what he's doing with the Hurt Syndicate is better, and I'm looking forward to see how that plays out, because I still feel like at the end of this, like, he needs to align with FTR to go after the tag team titles and kind of screw Hurt Syndicate like that, or something to that effect. But as a whole, Hangman Page is really what AEW should be proud of, I think. And again, I know it's a preference for everyone. If you don't like the Hangman character, period, you probably disagree with me completely. So I get that. It's just to each, everyone's taste. But to me, that's what makes more sense into why I think Hangman should beat Ospreay, and Hangman should be the one to face Mox at All In. And I was talking to another fan last night, and we were debating, those All In tickets, they're not that bad price wise. I've been looking for an excuse to go to Texas, so we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so I just think like it'd be like a fun ending, almost like a storybook ending for Hangman, and not like a storybook ending, but like a whole, like a good, like full circle moment, I think, for Hangman. Obviously he was the champion at one point, but going through all the turmoil that he's gone through and then circling back and regaining the championship, not only, but dethroning Moxley, who has been this destructive force for almost a year at that point. So yeah, I think that they could really, really get a lot out of the Hangman character and have a lot of stories coming out of it. Obviously, Ospreay, if you go with him, they're in a good position right now, and I will say that they have a good problem on their hands, type of thing, right? I obviously just made a case for Hangman, but you can make a case for Ospreay as well. If you really want AEW to feel fresh and to shake shit up and to go in a new direction, it really almost start a new chapter. You can start that with Ospreay, right? And have Ospreay defeat the long tenured AEW champion of Moxley, have Ospreay finally take that championship out of the briefcase, which I don't think is there, but it will be for that night. And really hone in on a new era for AEW, right? So if they want to go that direction, I think you can as well. But I think Ospreay is one of those baby faces where he's a good challenger going after the title. And I think Hangman is one of those edgy babyface characters, and you can solidify him as that when we get to that point, where if and when Hangman does win, I think a feud between him and Ospreay as his first challenger would actually be better, right? Because then you could have it's more of a possibility, like, oh shit, like, yeah, Hangman just won this title, but Ospreay is no joke, man. Like, is it gonna be like a quick reign for Hangman? And you can kind of like play with that and have fun with that. So that's kind of my thoughts on Double or Nothing, and then leading into All In as well. And yeah, so I'll give AEW credit where credit is due, I guess is what I'll say. But I am pulling up the rest of the card. So obviously we have that as the Owen Hart Foundation's men's tournament final, and then we have Mercedes Moné facing off against Jamie Hayter in the Owen Hart Foundation women's tournament final. And that, to me, look, if they were building Jamie Hayter up a little bit more prior to this, I may have more doubt that Mercedes is going to lose, but it's a no-brainer for me at this point. I think it's probably one of the easiest matches to pick, unless there's like some outside interference, which I don't really see happening to cost Mercedes. I think it's going to be Mercedes taking the tournament and having another championship around her waist, right? Because they have or they get both, right? They get that title and a trophy. Like so many fucking titles. Sorry, I was trying to not use that word anymore, but so many titles. So yeah, and again, this just sets up the match at All In, I think, between her and Toni Storm, which I think is going to be fantastic, and I am very much looking forward to that. So, and again, All In is shaping up to be a very solid card from the early signs that we're getting. So we'll see. I wish that they would, part of me at least wishes they would pull like a wild card and maybe go with like a Jamie Hayter win, because I think, again, you talk about shaking things up, I think that could be a fun dynamic, and then have Mercedes like kind of playing like the role of like, oh my god, like that was my shoe in for All In, like how am I going to get there now, right? And I mean, she's obviously a champion, so she can defend her championship there, but I don't know. I feel like Hayter could be fun, but I just don't see them pulling the trigger on it right now, sadly. So we'll see. We'll see. And then, speaking of Toni Storm, we have Toni Storm facing off against Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's Championship. To me, I feel like that one's pretty much a no-brainer, but I do think it's very telling. Okay, before I get to that, I think this will be very telling, because if we do not get a Mariah May either interference, sighting, or anything Mariah May related before, during, or after this match, I think that's another confirmation that Mariah's out and she's on her way to WWE. And if that's the case, then I will say I'll be shocked. I've kind of been holding off on really one way or another, like, like, do I believe that Mariah May's really out? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, because part of me, I was just like, there's no way Tony's gonna let her leave, right? Like, there's no way he's not gonna throw like stupid money at her and do whatever like he can to keep her. And maybe he has. Maybe it's just a situation like a Jade Cargill, where he like, or like a Stephanie McCurr, which is probably a little bit more apropos. They did what they needed to do in AEW. I mean, Stephanie only had one match, but especially Mariah May, like, she went in and fucking killed it, made just the best presentation for herself, and the best kind of like, they used to say like, oh, send me in a tape. She made the best real tape, like the best audition tape for WWE that she possibly could have ever wanted, right? And if she's just like, look, Tony, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's no hard feelings, but my heart just wants to go over there and at least try it over there. It's not that I never want to come back to AEW, or I don't see myself coming back to AEW, but I have to give it a shot. And it's a now or never type thing. There's only so much you can do. The heart wants what the heart wants. You know what I mean? And no amount of money is going to change that. Like, and I'm sure she already made a pretty good bag off of her AEW run. Not as much as she can make if she re-signed with them, but I do think that she made a pretty good bag. And I think that, again, with that real tape that she made in AEW, I think, shit, I could see her coming into close to $1 million in WWE, because I read a report months ago that the minimum that main roster talent are making are $350K a year. That's beautiful. I'm so happy for them. So maybe Mariah comes in at 450, 500. Maybe that's a little low, but to me, that's pretty high, and again, depending on what she made at AEW, even if that's taking a cut, give her a year in WWE, and I see her really taking over. I think if they position her correctly, can you imagine a match between her and Tiffany Stratton? I just feel like, I mean, obviously the obvious similarities appearance-wise, but in ring-wise too, man. I feel like Tiffany could really absorb a lot of like Mariah's like good storytelling in the ring, and I think that Mariah could really absorb some of Tiffany's in-ring moves and in-ring, like the wrestling control that Tiffany seems to have so early on, and the comfort that she seems to have. Like, yes, like certain thing, like certain like mishaps happen, but as a whole, like, that's another reason why Tiffany has hit so well, in my opinion, is because she can really own her spot in the ring. And I think Mariah does as well, but I think they could really kind of feed off of each other in that respect. So I can't wait. But I think this Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa match is really going to be a sign whether Mariah is still in AEW or if she's all out. So we'll see. And then the next matchup that we have announced so far is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin defending the tag team titles. yeah. I was pulling up. So Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara faced the Crew, Leo Rush and Action Andretti for a shot at the AEW Tag Team titles at Double or Nothing, which I just think is a choice. It is a choice. I don't want to say fall of Sammy Guevara, but the shift in trajectory and spot on the card is very telling. And again, I'm not gonna speculate. We all know like some shit had happened backstage, but that's in the past, and I don't know. I don't know. So I think him and Dustin have made a decent tag team though, and obviously they've been doing their thing in Ring of Honor. But I don't know, man. I'm not really chomping at the bit for either one of these teams to face off against the Hurt Syndicate. So we'll see. We'll see. But that is the lay of the land for Double or Nothing. I am going to go through y'all's chats really quick, and then we will be jumping off here shortly, guys. But again, appreciate all of you for popping in. We have over 1,200 people in combination between Twitter, the Twitter machine, and YouTube. So I appreciate that. Twitter, say a lot of bad things about Twitter, right? But it is a good way for people to connect, right? And to join the community. So shout out to everyone watching on Twitter. Universal, you said Will Ospreay, Hangman, and Swerve are must see and the only reason to watch AEW. Bro, they're definitely the core reasons for sure. All right, Fernando, you said Ospreay needs to win. He's the best wrestler in AEW. I mean, probably is, dude, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like to really, I don't know. I just feel like Hangman. I don't know. Like I don't know why I'm so like Hangman just feels so right for me. And it's again like that's why I love doing these shows too, though, and chatting with you guys, like I've said before, because I love hearing everyone's viewpoints and everyone like why they think Hangman should win or why you think Ospreay should win. That's the whole point, right? So I really enjoy it. So I appreciate you guys for providing your feedback and your thoughts. Yeah, Universal. You said Death Riders are sleepy, tiring, dreadful. In this ratings killer. Yeah, bro, for sure. For sure. And part of me is a surprise that we are really going to all in with him, but part of me is like, wow, he really fucking stuck with his guns on this one. All right, Fernando, you said Cedric Alexander is appearing at the last minute during the contract signing, and the Hurt Syndicate will beat down MJF. Isn't it? I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder, it's just a weird or sticky dynamic because if you guys remember Big Swole from the early days of AEW, Swole is Cedric Alexander's wife. And Tony Khan had said some not so nice things about Swole at one point, so it's just this wrestling world is interesting, right? Yeah, Sean, you said this MJF stuff is weird and he acted like such a moron this week. If he turns on them, it makes the Hurt Syndicate look stupid. Yeah, dude. They have kind of convoluted this whole thing, though. Okay. Yeah, so some discussion between if MJF should be a face or not. Man, if he hadn't already turned face once prior, I would say possibly just to give him like to do I don't know, to not I don't know, like he's just in a weird like I was saying earlier, he's just like in a weird cycle where he's like he's not that like dastardly heel, right? That he used to get legit heat, bro. Like he used to get people out there really booing him and really just despising him. And now it's fun to like cheer along with him. And that's kind of sad. And I will this is one of those hills that I would die on, that MJF should not have turned babyface when he did. I think they really jumped the gun on that one. But yeah. Yeah, and agree to disagree. I love it. I love it, guys. But yeah, Sean, you said Mariah's WWE bound. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been so many reports out there, but it's until you see it type thing, right? And Fernando says May is staying in AEW. There is no solid proof she is going to WWE. It's just rumors. See? TBD. TBD. We will see. In Universal, you said if Mariah leaves, she's going to NXT, not to Raw or SmackDown. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm not saying, like when I was saying earlier, like her facing off against like Tiffany Stratton, and that's eventually, like that's maybe like a year and a half into her being under the WWE umbrella. But 100% I see her going to NXT first. And I see her fucking dominating in NXT. So I prefer her starting off in NXT. In Universal, you said in regards to the rumor, you said Fernando, not a rumor. She's told Tony she wants to go, but Tony has a lot of money. Money talks and bullshit walks. I mean, yeah, dude, but look at Stephanie Vaquer. Tony threw money at Stephanie, and she chose WWE, NXT in particular. So I definitely see and definitely agree with you, bro. But I think that certain talent at certain points in their career, and especially with how hot wrestling is right now, like they're pretty confident they're gonna make their money. They just need to. I feel like talent nowadays too, like they're following their heart more than the cliche and money thing or WWE thing. Because there's even talent like a Kenny Omega, for instance. Like Kenny was up in the contract signing, right? He could have very easily gone to WWE and he did not. So some talent just don't have that bug to have that WWE experience. And that is a drastic change from where we were years ago, which I like. I like that WWE isn't the end game for everyone, but for some people it very much so is. And I can see Mariah being one of those people, if she truly does want to be there, then I can see money not really playing a factor, because if she believes in her abilities and she believes in herself and she obviously knows she's got the goods, she's going to make that money back. Whether it's the first 2 years, or it's on that re-sign, she's going to get that money. So if I was her, I wouldn't be worried about that. Now, unless they're talking about like fucking chump change giving her, and that's in like a disrespectful amount, then absolutely not. But I don't see that happening. What up, Derek? What up? What up? Derek Hubbard, appreciate you popping in, man. You said outside of the Tony feud, it felt like they had nothing to build on for Mariah. They did not set up a next step. Now her next step is going to be somewhere else. Exactly, dude. Exactly. And I think in the back of her mind, I think that's what's going to entice her to go to WWE as well, and not just the money thing. But okay, like when I wasn't feuding with Tony and I wasn't interacting with Tony Storm, like what did I do? And nothing really of substantial value. And it's very similar to like a Danny Garcia, for instance, right? Like he was coming up on a contract negotiation. There was heavy talks, like there's like a contract battle, which whatever. I mean, I'm sure WWE, I'm pretty confident WWE would have made an offer for him, right? But I'm sure Tony outpaid him, right? And WWE had a certain amount that they were willing to offer, and for where he's at right now. Not saying Danny doesn't have great talent and great projection as a star, but you pay people for the talent level that they're at right now. That's just with any job. So, and then once you see what they're worth, and 6 months into it, you can get a raise, a promote, like whatever. Daniel Garcia stayed with AEW, said he's there to restore the feeling, right? That's the best, whatever. He said like the best wrestling or best wrestlers alive, some shit right like that, right? That first week he was pretty hot. He won the TNT championship and then nothing. Nothing. And I think that's really going to start being a telling sign for talent. Like, yeah, cool, they'll get a nice bag from Tony Khan, but what substantial value are you really getting out of it? And you got to think too, like if you're just one of those wrestlers where you're still early on in your career, but you're happy with the money that you're making for not really doing much work, okay, cool. But when your contract comes up, if they don't want to sign you again, or we'll just say if they don't want to sign you again, what is your tape, right? Like, where is your reel? Like, what have you been doing the past 2 years, right? Like, if you don't have that name already built up, like an Aleister Black, Malachi Black, it's going to be harder for another company to make you a hot offer. So you really got to be careful with, I think, the deal that you take and the quick money that you take is like one of those payday loan type things, right? Like you take the quick $1,000 right now, but then when you got to repay that shit, it's like an insane interest rate, right? I don't know why it just popped into my head, but yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think it just really boils down to what each individual truly wants and like what they really want and what drives them. If it's money, then cool. But if they really want to be in a certain place or potentially make it on WrestleMania, I I just think that money isn't going to hold some people back. So we'll see. Oh yeah, the boss. You said, will you be watching Braun Strowman's new food show? Yeah, I would love to. I love shit like that, and I think it's so weird. Like that's even more like odd for the timing. Like you release him right before his show comes out. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. Honestly, what was the date for that? Yeah, so it's called Everything on the Menu with Braun Strowman. Wow, he's 41 years old. And that's why it's just so fucking like strange to me. So USA Network has a like a little type press release thing. Obviously he's just going around tasting new original foods from all over the world. He will be ordering everything on every menu and trying to down every last bite. And it's produced by WWE Studios and Bright North Studios. So it's just even more surprising that they release him right before all this. Okay, and it's announced for. It says in the coming months for the 2025-2026 slate. So, and there was something else that I heard as well that kind of like what they relayed with Strowman, like they'll be bringing him like in and out type thing, like bring him in for like two, or not two, but like 3 6 month type intervals, and then having like kind of releasing him and then bringing him back and forth type thing, which sucks, like if you're a talent, like I'd be like, look, dude, if it's a money thing, like what are you comfortable paying? That makes sense for me. When you don't use me, like we can like have like make some type of a negotiation, some type of arrangement, right? Like I just would hate to be going strong or being used for 3 6 months and then like, all right, well, I'm released again, and then we'll just wait 4 or 5 months, 6 months, and then I'm back again. Like it's just, I mean, it's cool because you get your time off and you make your money, but it's like for me, like my job security and just like my anxiety be like, yo, like I can't, like, so what am I like, should I be looking for another job? Like should I be looking to like going on the indies? Should I like be looking for AEW, TNA, New Japan, or like what, So they need to figure something out with him. But yeah, guys, we'll be wrapping up here. Going through the last comments, and Derek, you said MJF feels like a broken character to me. Can you imagine a main eventer from any era pathetically begging to be a part of someone else's stable? Exactly, dude. And that's why, like I was saying earlier, even if he does end up pulling the whole swerve on them and like thinking like everyone kind of being like all kumbaya, like cool, like we finally let him in the group, and then now he turns on them. I just feel like that would be so foolish, and I just feel like that, like, really, like, okay, so now MJF has been begging and pleading and like groveling to be a part of this group and all this shit, and now they let him in, and now they get turned on, so it makes Bobby Lashley and like the Hurt Syndicate look stupid. Like I don't know, like it's it just never really made sense to me from the beginning, right? Like I really enjoyed MJF and MVP that first like interaction, because it was like it felt like, wow, like two serious like businessmen, like like two worlds that you wouldn't really expect to meet or meeting, and it's like, wow, like it's an interesting visual, right, and an interesting dynamic, very similar but very different as well. I think they should have just left it alone after that. I think they should have left that speculation and that, like, what if in the back of our minds, right? You have them share and show mutual respect. You can still display the uncertainty from Bobby Lashley and him not trusting MJF, and then Shelton just kind of going with the flow. Like, you can still establish all that, but you don't need that to be the storyline or a story between them. You can have, if you want to sprinkle like seeds, like have them like have MJF pass like well, because they're always together, but like the Hurt Syndicate can be doing like a promo backstage, and then you have MJF walk by, or he kind of walks in the background and like kind of peers over at them and gives them like a glance, and just like little things like that. So in the back of your mind, it's like, you know, like what's going on with them, and then you can have, in the meantime, where we don't see MJF like colluding with FTR and really trying to not getting like the Pinnacle back together, but honing in on that. And you can have MJ or MVP say one little thing, or give like just have one little gesture or phrase or something that really just irks MJF, and that's what sets him up. You're like, okay, bet, got you, bro. I'm gonna have, you know, like power and symbolism is your thing, so being a champion is what, you know, symbolizes status, right? Like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get my guys FTR to come in here and take the tag team titles from your guys, you know, and to kind of go back and forth like that. But this whole MJF begging to be part of the Hurt Syndicate and just bringing out the women and the cars and stuff, like, I'm glad Lashley was like, look, man, like, I can get my own women, my own cars, like all that stuff. Like, I'm glad they addressed that and kind of squash that part. But it's just like doing too much, you know. Like, this is in my opinion, a perfect situation where less is more, you know. Like, just sprinkle a couple seeds, like have us fans. This is one of those where you want us to kind of speculate, you kind of want us to like create our own like thoughts, like, man, like, is MJF going to align? Is he going to try to figure out a way? But we never actually see him trying to grovel into it, because we can't imagine MJF getting to that level. And really, like, why would MJF of 2 years ago, why would he care about being a part of a group, right? Like, people should be wanting to be with MJF, not vice versa. So I don't know. I still think MJF was at his strongest when he just had one guy, and that was Wardlow. Remember that guy? Remember Wardlow? Like, I don't know. It's just wild to me too. Like, thinking of Wardlow, like, where is he? Where is he? Like, everyone else got their release, right? I don't even know if he wants his release. I don't even know. I truly don't remember the last time I heard anything about Wardlow. It's just sad. It's just sad. But yeah, guys, no, thank you, Sean. You say these streams are always such a blast. Thank you, Ashley, for everything. Thank you, Sean, for everything. I appreciate all your contributions and everything you do. I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate everyone else as well. And we just over 1,300 people in combination between Twitter and YouTube. So again, I appreciate everyone jumping in and spending your Saturday mornings or evenings, wherever you're at in the world, with me. You can find us here, Brass Ring Media, every Saturday mornings live around 10 a.m. Eastern, maybe a little after. I do have my own channel here on YouTube as well, Kick-Ash Podcast, which you are more than welcome to subscribe to if you would like, to get a little bit more content from me. And like I said, I will be doing a Money in the Bank watch along as well. I think that's June 12th. The date, if I'm not my stupid calendar. Or maybe it's June 7th. Money in the Bank. Let me pull that up. Yeah, June 7th. June 7th. So I will be doing a Money in the Bank watch along on Kick-Ash Podcast on June 7th. So feel free to join me then. But I will be back here next week as well to do a Saturday stream before I head on out to Saturday night's main event. So definitely be fun to chat with you guys next week. And again, thank you so much for popping in with me. If you're watching live, I appreciate it. If you have not, go ahead and hit the like button if you would be so inclined. It definitely helps the channel here, the algorithm, all that good stuff. And drop a comment if you're watching on replay, because I'd love to know your thoughts, even if you weren't able to watch us and join with us live. So Until next week, guys, on Bryce Ring Media, thank you so much for joining. I truly appreciate it. Definitely subscribe so you can catch all the other content as well that Zach puts out. We have Robert, Dominic, everyone who is part of the joint partnership between One True Sport and Bryce Ring Media now. It's super dope. I love everything that we're doing, the revamping of the logos, the colors, and everything. So a lot of fun things to come into the future. So stay tuned for that. And it's kind of a plug, but it's just the truth. Just subscribe. That's the best way to keep abreast of all the changes, right? But thank you, James. I appreciate you, girl. I appreciate you so much, man. You're very sweet, very sweet. But until next time, guys, stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. Just stay safe and enjoy some wrestling. Take care.